Hello, my name is Lisa Espitia Gonzalez, and my mathematician is Georg Cantor, founder of the set theory. Who is Georg Cantor? Georg Cantor was born March 3, 1845, in St. Petersburg, Russia. His father is Georg Valdemar Cantor. He was a successful merchant. He was born in Denmark. His mother is Maria Ann Bohm. She was Russian and very musical. George was the oldest of 6 children. Cantor inherited musical talents from his parents being an outstanding violinist. George was brought up a Protestant religion of his father, while his mother was a Roman Catholic. Early childhood, adolescence. Cantor lived in Russia in his early years. After early education at home from a private tutor, he attended primary school in St. Petersburg. In 1856, when he was 11 years old, his family moved to Germany. The reason they had to move from Russia was because his father had poor health and moved to Germany to find a warmer climate. At first, they lived in Wiesbaden. Cantor attended the Gymnasium. It's a senior secondary school in Germany. They moved to Frankfurt. Some of his education. Cantor studied at the Realschule in Darmstadt. He graduated in 1860 with an outstanding report mentioning his exceptional skills in mathematics, in particular trigonometry. He entered the Polytechnic of Zurich in 1862. His father sent him here. He wanted Cantor to become a shining star in engineering. In 1862, Cantor had sought his father's permission to study mathematics at the University of Zurich, where it became short by the death of his father in June 1863. Cantor moved to the University of Berlin, became friends with Hermann Schwarz. He spent his summer term of 1866 at the University of Göttingen, then returning to Berlin to complete his dissertation on number theory. After receiving his doctorate in 1867, he taught at a girls' school in Berlin. In 1868, he joined the Schellbach Seminar for Mathematics Teacher. During this time, he worked on his habilitation. Immediately after being appointed to Halle in 1869, after he presented his thesis, again on number theory, and received his habilitation. Cantor was promoted to extraordinary professor at Halle in 1872, began his friendship with Richard Dedekind. Cantor published a paper on trigonometric series, which he defended irrational numbers in terms of convergent sequence of rational numbers. The beginning of set theory was a branch of mathematics is often marked by the publication of Cantor's 1874 paper. Cantor established these results using 2 constructions. His first construction shows how to write the real algebraic numbers as a sequence, A1, A2, A3, and the real algebraic numbers are countable. Cantor starts his second construction with any sequence of real numbers. Using the sequence, he constructs nested intervals whose interactions contains a real number not in the sequence. Since every sequence of real numbers can be used to construct a real not in the sequence, the real numbers cannot be written as a sequence, that is the real numbers are not countable. He has shown that 1-to-1 correspondence could be drawn between all the natural numbers and the squares of all the natural numbers to infinity. He compared the infinity set of rational numbers with infinity set of natural numbers. Cantor's starting point was to say that if it was possible to add 1 and 1, or 25 and 5, etc., then it would ought to be possible to add infinity and infinity. He considered an infinite series of natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, and then an infinite series of multiple of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so on. He realized that even though the multiples of 10 were clearly a subset of the natural numbers, the 2 series could be paired up on a 1-to-1 basis, one with 10, 2 with 20, 3 with 30, etc. A process known as bijection, to show that they were the same sizes of infinite sets and that they had the same number of elements. He refined his set theory, defining well-ordered sets and power sets and introducing the concepts of ordinality and cardinality. In the arithmetic of infinite sets, he defined infinite and well-ordered sets that prove the real numbers are more numerous than natural numbers. He defined the cardinal and ordinal numbers in the arithmetic. He became engaged to Val Gutmann, a friend of his sister. Married on August 9, 1874, they had 6 children. End of May 1884, Cantor had his first depression, his first heart attack. Cantor suffered from periods of depression. He tended to turn away from mathematics and turn toward philosophy. From his illness of 1884, he had requested that he'd be allowed to lecture on philosophy instead of mathematics. Extra stress was put on Cantor when the death of his mother, October 1896, and the death of his younger brother in January 1999. In October 1899, Cantor applied for was granted leave from teaching for the winter semesters of 1890 to 1900s. December 16, 1899, youngest son died. Cantor retired in 1913. His last years of life he had lived in poverty, and he spent the final years of his life in a sanitarium. He died of a heart attack on January 6, 1918. And that is it.